Hey guys, today I'm so honored to be joined by one of my favorite YouTubers, Tara O'Neill. Tara is best known for her lifestyle videos and festival fashion hauls. Not only is her style impeccable, she is so cool and down to earth, and we share the same passion for attending music festivals. Today, we're really going to be diving into her life and career as a full-time YouTuber, as well as discussing how we really feel about life with no events. Get ready for a jam-packed episode. Hello you guys, welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I am your host, Emma Kapotes. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy Wednesday. It feels good to be sitting down and recording an episode. I am so excited for this to finally be out. You guys have no idea. Let me just preface this interview by saying Tara O'Neill has been one of my favorite YouTubers for such a long time. There's just something about her that I relate to. I think she has the coolest presence. She's so down to earth. She keeps it real. She's hysterical. And the fact that I have her on today's episode, when I tell you guys this was like a dream guest for me, this is like a pinch me moment. So I'm so excited for this to finally be out. You guys are gonna absolutely love her, so get excited for today's interview. I just wanted to quickly say that I am sending everybody virtual hugs. This has been an extremely difficult past 2 weeks. Not only are we dealing with another situation of police brutality in America, there is a massive hurricane that was going down by Louisiana and in Texas on top of the pandemic, so I fully understand that there's a lot of heavy things happening right now, and I just hope that this podcast can entertain you guys and give you a moment of lightness, and I hope you just enjoy it and are entertained and you can relax. But I did just want to acknowledge that because I fully understand that there are bigger things that are happening right now. The next thing I just want to say is a huge thank you. Thank you for checking out this podcast. I really appreciate you guys being here. You can do all the things. You can subscribe on YouTube to Emma Kapotes. We also have a brand new YouTube channel, which is very exciting. I should have announced this last week, but it is called Rave Culture Cast Clips. And it will just have different highlights from every episode. And with every single interview I've been doing lately, I have been filming bonus content with the guests that you will only get on the YouTube channel. So there will be bonus clips, and they're sort of like lightning round, get to know me style questions, so you can get to know our guests a little bit better. So definitely go check that out and subscribe. You can also follow along with us at Rave Culture Cast and at Emma Kapotes on Instagram and Twitter. And lastly, you guys, I really appreciate you supporting the podcast by sharing this on your Instagram stories, following on Spotify, or rating and reviewing on iTunes, which brings me to my next point. I announced this last week, but we are doing our first giveaway. So all you have to do is write a review on Apple Podcasts. So I'm going to be checking through those. We're going to pick 2 random winners who will get to pick whatever item they want from the upcoming Rave Culture Cast merch launch, which will be coming hopefully mid to late September. So the winners can pick whatever they want, and I will send that to them free of charge as a way to say thank you for writing these reviews. It really helps people discover the podcast. So get over there, start writing those reviews, you guys, and who knows, you might be able to win a piece of merch, which is really exciting. Okay, last thing I want to say before we jump in here, I'm going to be collecting submissions for a new episode. And this is a series I have. So guys, we're bringing back hashtag Ask Emma Anything. I believe this is the 3rd round. I love doing these episodes. Essentially, you guys write in questions. It can be about whatever topic you want, something you need advice on, something you are just curious about. It doesn't just have to be EDM or music festival related. Send me your emails to raveculturecast@gmail.com. And I will be going through those in a few weeks with a special guest this time. So it's not just going to be a solo episode. And again, it's completely curated by you. So whatever you guys write in, I will be answering and discussing. So we get to topic juggle, which I really love to do. So I think that's all I have. I'm going to jump right into our Listener of the Week segment now. All right, so this says, hey Emma, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to Jose, aka Mr. Worldwide. He created the group Worldwide Rave Family, and the Instagram is at WW Rave Family, and brought so many people together by doing so. It's a community of nothing but love and positivity, and he worked tirelessly on setting up meetups during festivals, to creating merch and coordinating what festivals we go to. This is an amazing group, and I always feel so connected and loved when I hang out with them at a festival. I made some awesome friends that I would never have met without him, so thank you so much. And that's from Debbie. So shout out Jose, aka Mr. Worldwide, and again at WW Rave Family. I think that's absolutely incredible. I didn't know this group existed, so it's amazing to see how many rave fams there are out there in different groups. So if you're looking to meet more ravers and things like that, guys, definitely check this out. Thank you, Debbie, for writing in, and Jose, you are our listener of the week. So if any of you guys are listening and you want to submit somebody and nominate somebody, again, you can email me, raveculturecast@gmail.com, with your nominations for listener of the week, and it can just be a short and sweet message, just like that one was from Debbie. So without further ado, you guys, I know my intros are so long. Let's get into this interview with Tara. Again, like I said, I found her through, I believe it was some of her festival content. She definitely has festival vlogs on her channel. Obviously, when we weren't dealing with this pandemic, she was attending a ton of events. Again, she's very big with rave and festival fashion. Her style is incredible. I'm always looking to her for inspiration. Her channel is also lifestyle oriented, so she does general fashion videos. She does a whole series like Training with Tara, and has talked a lot about her weight loss journey, which has been incredible. And again, in general, I just think she's so real and down to earth, and you guys are gonna absolutely love her. She comes from the Bay Area. So I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. So everybody, please welcome to the podcast, Tara O'Neill.
Hi.
There we go. What's going on?
I'm like, tell me why I'm like nervous. This is my first like podcast interview, so I'm like, wow, this is like such an experience.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, that's always the best. No, so just know, very casual. I'd like this just to be like a conversation, and like I have a couple questions for you, but in general, like just go with the flow. But yeah, so just to get things started, welcome to the podcast. This is so exciting. It's your first interview.
I know.
Okay, so for those of you listening who don't know, could you just do a quick intro to who you are, where you're from, how old you are, and what you do?
Okay, so hello, my name is Tara O'Neill. I'm from that's like a hard question. I've like moved around a lot.
Okay.
So I'm from San Francisco. I was born here. My dad's like a first gen from Ireland. So he's from Dublin. And then my mom is from like Northern California. She's from San Carlos. So I'm like basically was born in the Bay.
Okay.
And then I moved to Dublin in Ireland when I was 6. And I spent like all of my elementary school there, like all of my childhood there, because that's where my like dad's family was from.
Okay.
And then I moved back to to the States for high school.
Okay.
And I lived in this place called like Orcas, Washington. It's like the San Juan Islands. They're literally like islands. You have to take a ferry to get to them.
Oh my
it's
God.
very small.
Okay.
Like, so that was my high school experience. And then basically during high school, my parents moved me back to the city came back to San Francisco. And then, I kind of have been here ever since. Like I kind of have left and done other things, but basically I'm like from the Bay. And then I do YouTube. So I'm a YouTuber, and my channel is basically like, I just explain it as fashion, festival, fitness, lifestyle. That's basically what I explain it as. It's a little iffy right now. Like I don't even know
I feel you.
what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But basically that's my like little.
Yeah. Is your family, are they in California now too as well?
So both of my parents live in Ireland now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they live in Dublin, and then I have like 3 other siblings. So I have a sister in New York and then 2 brothers in Washington.
Wow. Okay. That must be so tough, because like we don't know when they're going to lift the travel restrictions and stuff. Have you been there recently before all of this?
I was there when I was last in Dublin. I was there last April. And so, I mean, my mom's she's in the States right now because she's just like visiting my grandma and stuff. So she's here, and I got the chance to see her last month, which was super nice because it had been a year since I had seen my mom.
Sure. Oh, wow.
It's like weird. It's weird getting old, like living far away from your parents. Because like I'm so used to just like being close to them.
Sure. And how is life in the Bay? Like, I feel I've only been to California a couple times, and I went with my parents to Sonoma, and we just all got like drunk together, just the three of us, and did like
Wait, you're from New Jersey, right?
Yep, I'm in New Jersey now, born and raised.
You born there?
Here. Yep.
Okay. So you went to Sonoma. That's crazy.
Yeah, so we did that, and then I got to go to San Francisco for like the first time and loved it, but I felt like it wasn't enough time. Like, it was only 2 days, and there's such a big like EDM scene there. I feel like so many artists are from the Bay Area.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Like Illenium, I used to babysit Illenium's sister's kids.
Stop.
Dude, that's like a really fun little like that I have, is that they went to a private school here called SI, and like he obviously, I don't know if you know, he has like his whole story where he like went to rehab in like Colorado and stuff, to recovery.
Sure.
And I was babysitting for this girl when I was like, I don't even, like 19 or something.
Yeah.
Or 20 or something like that. And she said something weird like, oh, we're going to my brother's show tonight at 10:15. And I was like, that's weird. All my friends are going to 10:15 tonight. Like, who's your brother? And she was like, oh, his name's Illenium. And I was like, stop, shut up.
Can I get tickets, please? Yeah.
But so to answer your question though, like, the Bay is super cool. Like, there's super sick culture here, but like, I think it's really hard for like people to almost experience the culture unless they live here.
Right. Okay.
Because obviously there's like Bay Area music, which is just like Andre Negatina, like E40, like G-Eazy. So there's that whole like Oakland culture where it's just like rap and like Bay Area music. And then there's like a huge hub of EDM that kind of strings more into like where San Jose is at, because they're like have a lot of like bigger venues. And obviously we have a venue called Mountain View, which is more that way, where we have like some of our bigger raves. So like the Bay is very diverse, but there's like there's a lot happening, but it is cool.
Yeah. And you've been like, have you been moving around, or are you kind of like staying put for now in your current housing situation?
I talk about moving like all the time. So like, I mean, if you see my videos, you probably know that I have like kind of a psycho landlord.
Yes.
But here's the thing though, is that I wanted to move. I'm pretty sure I still want to stay in San Francisco, because that's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard because sometimes I feel like I need something completely new, but then there's other things where I'm like, oh, I've just started to find like super sick people that work in like arts as well. So like a lot of my friends are now like are DJs or they're graphic designers. And I'm like, oh, it takes a long time to get to know creative people, because usually they're pretty like introverted. But once you find them, you find them, you're like, oh, sick. Like, this is my group.
Right.
So yeah, like I want to move out of this space, because even just like as a YouTuber, you kind of just need a fresh like place to create and stuff. Cause like, especially during quarantine, I spend so much time in my room. I'm like not really inspired anymore, which is not what you want.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely just like a lot being in one place. And it's interesting, like it's such a big city and the area you're in is big, but do you feel like at the same time it's a small community? Like, do you run into a lot of the same people?
Dude, SF is so fucking small.
It is.
Like it's hard to say like cause it's like, if you are into like specific things, so say if you were like into like EDM, like you will know everybody that is going to those things. Then if you're more into like the Bay culture, which is more like street style and like Bay Area music and things like that, that's all the same people too. And then sometimes they intertwine, not too often. I kind of float in between them all the time.
Right.
But no, basically the people that go out, you see them all the time. Like it is pretty small.
That's what I figured. And I even like just with the EDM community in particular, like I've been meeting so many people through doing this, but at the same time, it is so small, especially when you do have festivals in general. Like you actually meet the same people all the time at every single festival. That's why I was hoping to run into you at a fucking festival.
I know. That would have been so sick, because I would have been like, oh my God, I know who that is. Because I don't know if you feel like this at all. Tell me if you do, but like, it's not that there are not YouTubers that rave. It's just that they're like, it's just not as big of a thing of people that actually care, I think.
Right.
Like people that have like rave fams and like want to do big groups and like go out and like have a whole experience. I feel like it's not that it's not around on YouTube, but it's just like not as common. I don't know.
No, yeah. I found a lot of people through like their rave vlogs, but that will usually be like a one-off video and then their channel is about something like completely different. So I definitely feel that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. How is the EDM like scene in New Jersey? I wouldn't even know.
It's basically like Brooklyn and New York City.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Do I go to anything in this? No, I don't think I do anything really in New Jersey. Like I'm from North Jersey. So, and like I was working full time in Manhattan as well. So I was like in and out of the city every single day. And I would either drive, or at the time we were Ubering all the way to Brooklyn, which could be like a 50-minute drive. Right. But it's Brooklyn started to pop up with like, they would just have these warehouses and then just build things out. That. And the city definitely had more like clubs, which I did in my like mid-20s, had my little, you know, promoter phase. And then over that real quick. So Brooklyn is like where you're going to go. And it's not even like, you wouldn't really park in the area and walk around. You kind of just like get dropped off and get picked up right away and get the fuck out of there.
Oh my God, that's how I feel. Yeah. And so like for you, is it like, do you go out in New Jersey? I mean, obviously, like, I don't know if you're going out right now, but like if you go out, you don't really go out in New Jersey ever?
Well, I lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is like right on the water across from the city. And I lived there for 2 years and loved it. Like that was it was like a smaller city, like all young people, just a main street with bars like back to back. And I mean, people play like Jersey club music all the time.
Right.
And like the Jersey Shore during the summer typically would have like really fun beach bars and stuff, but like nothing.
Stop it. You've been there? That's like, it's crazy to me. That's like a real place. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Like I grew up on like Jersey Shore, like, obviously. So it's like that to me, I'm like, damn, like there's clubs and stuff. And that's like people go there in summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I haven't been, so the show is filmed in Seaside Heights. I've never been there. It's definitely like a little sleazier of an area. I would say one of my friends went last weekend for the first time. She was like, yeah, this is bad.
Oh my God.
But a little further up is an area and there's this like bar called DJs and like they will get major artists to play there. Like it's ridiculous. Like I think I saw EDX there. And it's just like they shut the blinds and at 2 p.m. it is a fucking madhouse. Like people slamming on the walls. Like you don't know what time it is.
What?
You have to go. It's fucking insane.
That sounds insane.
It's
Oh, dude, how much do you just miss shows?
So much. It actually hurts.
It's like fucked up. Okay, I want to know what you had planned this year that did not go through.
Okay, you flipped this interview on me. How did you?
I know. Well, also we're like meeting, so like.
Yes, true. Wait, so how many shows did I have planned? You said?
Well, like, what got, because I'll tell you my life got canceled, but I want to know.
Yes, please. I know. I think I saw you said maybe Miami. So I had done Ultra in 2017 and this was going to be the year I was like, I'll go back. I really want to do Miami Music Week. So that was like a last minute kind of send. And then I was going to do Ubby Dubby for the first time. That would have been my first Texas festival. Yeah. And then I was going to do Electric Forest for the first time, which has been like top of my bucket list forever. Yeah. And then I had a bunch of little ones like Moonrise. I was going to go to Escape. That would have been my first SoCal festival.
You know, I've heard crazy things about Escape. I used to really want to go to Escape. Well, like, I mean, I still would go. But people that are from SoCal are always like, oh my God, that's such a beginner festival. It's like all the kids from college go there. And I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't care. It's like a really good venue. And it's hot. And it's like, still, even though it's like for Halloween and like it's cool, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that pretty much would have been it. Maybe EDC Orlando, which like I know that still technically isn't like canceled right now, but I don't think we're gonna get anything. So
you just you just don't even know.
But I mean, I want to hear your schedule, but my hopes right now, I'm just putting this out in the universe. Like I have this really weird gut feeling that 2021 is going to be the year I send it to international festivals if they lift the travel ban, because I just don't think the United States will have them for a while. And I'm like, I might be going to Tomorrowland or something else.
No, like I really hope so for you international ones, I'm kind of the same because I literally just got a message from like one of my subscribers. It was like in my requested.
Yep.
And she was like, oh my God, Tara, like, just so you know, like Australia is having having festivals for sure for New Year's. And I'm like, fuck you.
Yep.
I'm like, and it's funny because I've always wanted to go, like do an Australian festival, like tour kind of, just be like, I'm going to spend my winter there, like their summer, and just like go to a bunch of like their, cause they have crazy like desert illegal festivals and shit like that.
Have you ever been? Just in general?
No, never. But I'm like one of those girls that's like kind of really fascinated with Australia. Yeah. And they're like very up on their like festival fashion. Like I look to them a lot for
you do. I was going to say, I studied abroad there for college. Yeah. It was just like a Maymester, but I went for a month and we like went all up and down the East Coast, and it was like the fucking coolest trip of my entire life. But they do have like, they have a very interesting EDM culture, because I feel like it came much later, and it's still, from people I've heard, they're like, the shows are far and few in between. So you kind of have to go to the really big festivals, but that would be interesting. I feel like you would thrive there.
Yeah, I know. I feel like it would be like, honestly, either really good or really bad. Like it would be like the best thing for me, but also like the worst. They're like, oh my God, someone put this girl back in a cage.
Well, I mean, after this is all over, we're all going to be going a little nuts, I think.
I know, right? But no, so like the festivals that got canceled for me, I guess, well, like it was just the worst. So basically I had been to Snow Globe. I went to like Snow Globe in Tahoe for like New Year's. And then I planned this huge trip. I don't know if you know like Crazy Ray Race to Ray. She's like, she's one of my only YouTube friends like that I've hung out with like in person, really, because we went to Snow Globe together.
Okay, yep.
And I had been to Ultra previously. So I was like, dude, we have to go to Ultra together. But we were like, if we're going to do it, we're going to fucking do it. So like, I think we were supposed to be in Miami for like 9 days, and we were going to do like Miami Music Week. And then we were going to finish it off with Ultra. And then we were going to just like be hungover, like dying there for like 2 days after.
Yep.
And I think it was like 3 days before we were supposed to leave is when like the flights got canceled, and they were like, it got canceled. You can't, because I think Ultra was the first of all the festivals to get canceled.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, like that sucks. And then like was going to go to Coachella, that got canceled, was going to go to Lightning in a Bottle.
Oh,
that got canceled. I was going to swing like 2 or 1 days of EDC Las Vegas, but I was like, I might die because it was like a week after LAB. But like last year I went to like 3 festivals, 3 weekends in a row. And it was just like, I don't actually think I would recommend anybody to do that.
But it's hard. It's hard to resist it, especially like, I don't know if you feel this way, but I believe everything happens for a reason. And like, obviously, you know, do not wish coronavirus on this world. But like, I look back and think at what I had planned, and I'm like, I really think I would have been putting myself out financially. Like I just, once you start going, they just start building up, and you're like, it's fine. I'll just figure it out, and I'll just figure it out, and I'll just send it to this one. And now I'm like, okay, I've had some time to save up money. Maybe that wasn't the smartest idea.
And then you can be more, exactly. You can be like more strategic on like what festival you really want to go to, because like I'm like the exact same, like in a way it was like I was saving throughout like all of the dry months of like where there's kind of nothing, just so I could like blow it all in spring.
Yep.
And I was like, and I just love doing that because I just think it's like so fun. But then it's like, okay, let's be realistic. Like I was repeating a lot of festivals, which is like, you always have those festivals that you love, but I feel like the whole part about festival culture and like being one of those like people that travels a lot is going to like as many different ones as you can and getting like all the bands.
Yep.
And just like, because every festival based on like, I mean, there's so many fucking states in America that it's like, it really is like a really different type of culture when you go. It's like, because I know if I went to Ultra or whatever, I felt like the mass majority of like the boys there were very just like fratty, like jerseys, like that kind of thing. And then you go to Washington and it's like really heavy and candy, and it's like very plur, and it's like pretty young. So it's like, I don't know. I actually like really I was really sad about, probably the most sad about Lost Lands. I like really wanted to go to Lost Lands.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I've heard such good things about just like the overall experience and like how they've put it together. And I just think they nailed the theme. Like I love how they just take the dinosaur thing and fucking run with it. I think it's
was
cool.
amazed by that. I was like, because I did Base Canyon and they didn't have nearly anything on like that scale of production. There's like basically no theme,
right?
But like the gorge is really beautiful, so it doesn't really matter. Like the venue's insane, so they don't need a theme. But like Los Angeles looks wild, like literally.
So this guy was so excited for this interview because I was like, we're gonna have so much to talk about.
I know, so much.
And it's like it is hard, like because I'm having like festival conversations a lot, like, but I just know like they are gonna come back at some point, and like. It'll be fine. Like we're all going to have so much fun. At this point, I just want local events to come back. Like I'll just take a small show in Brooklyn.
I would take anything. I would take literally anything because like San Francisco actually, it has so many events like every weekend, especially in like spring. And I mean, it's fine. It's whatever, because I think in a way it also taught me like a little bit more about my partying habits and like how they might have not been the best. And like, I didn't like, cause festivals are very extreme and like, you're obviously like really overstimulated and you have to have lots of energy and you're going for like days on end. And then you basically like die afterwards and you have like post-festival depression and like all these things. Like it's so extreme. So for like, me, when I started like hanging out with my friends that didn't do that, it was like, it's almost weird because we go too hard and we expect too much. Like we take it to like a different level. Whereas like some people are like, I just want to like sit and have some beers and chill. And I'm like, no,
I'm ready to fucking rage.
I want a rage face.
Like, I know. It's just so exciting when you get there and everything like that. But
the first day is always, you're just too drunk. Like it's just, do you drink at festivals and stuff?
Yeah, it depends on the event. Like I did a small one. I did Imagine Music Festival last year, which was in Georgia. And that was also like kind of a last minute thing. That was the first one I ever attended, like as, I guess it was like
they
an
invite
influencer. Yeah, it was like an influencer thing. And that one like drank the entire weekend, like aggressively, but it was it ended up being one of the most fun festivals. It took me by surprise. Maybe my expectations were low.
That was crazy. They invited me to that, but I couldn't go. I remember that. So that was when you went for that.
Yeah.
I was so curious about that. I remember getting the DM and I was like, surely not. Not. This can't be real.
Just in general, I want to talk about your YouTube channel because I just have so many questions for you. And for anybody listening, like I know you cover a couple different topics, which as like a viewer, I really love because we're into similar things. Like I love that you do fitness videos and you throw that in there and like you kill it with the rave fashion and stuff like that. But when you first started, like what was your goal with your channel and what made you want to do YouTube?
Yeah. So, well, I feel like YouTube, like anything for a lot of creators, like, well, for me, it definitely like happened over time, I guess. So like I started YouTube right after I graduated high school and I like wasn't going to college right away. I was like going to take a break because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I just like needed a hobby. And I was one of those kids that would like watch YouTube videos like under their covers when I was 13 because it was like not a cool thing to do. It was like pretty weird back then. And anyway, so I was just like obsessed with YouTube. I started doing like outfit of the days, like DIYs. I was just doing like that. And then as I kind of figured out like who I was as a person and things that I genuinely cared about, it was like, it kind of just came naturally. And as I started to make videos about things that like I cared, I don't know, like I would like go to a rave or something and I would do a little get ready with me. Or then like I went through like a little weight loss journey, but also just like shared like my tips and like things I like to do. Cause I like do care about those things. Like, and I think a lot of girls and boys like do in their lives anyway. So I think when you find someone that kind of just is like, I don't know, just like is talking about things where you're like, well, I kind of think about this on a daily basis too. And like, that's what I like to get up to. I mean, it just happened like naturally, like, So then I started to get a lot like way heavier into festivals and stuff. Like I think when I went to my first festival, it was like, me and my friends, we had all kind of started going at the same time, but like I more so was like oh my God, what the fuck did I just find? This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just left all my friends behind and I just like went on my own way and made all these different weird friend groups and like kind of just like did whatever. And then obviously I just like took my camera along the way with me and
Sure. And just shared your life.
I appreciate it though. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I've seen some of your videos too. Like some of your fitness videos, like fucking skyrocketed. Did that happen like quickly or was that like over time?
Yeah. I actually weirdly am like doing a bunch of fitness stuff right now because I'm like coming back and like want to do more fitness videos because people really like my fitness videos. Like I think it's because I can't even like really explain why, but I think it's because when it comes to fitness, like I like grew up my whole life like doing sports. Like my dad was a boxer when I was a kid and like I was like pretty intense and into it. So I think like when I really care about fitness and like how I get myself motivated to stay fit is like when I'm talking to a camera, I like really am believing it and like
got it.
really like into what I'm saying.
Yep.
And I think it's just like when all people want, like when they want to lose weight and they want to feel better about themselves, they just need to be inspired and they need to feel like they can do it and they need to see somebody else that did it. So I feel like that's just like what happened, I guess. And I like to use a lot. I think the huge thing is I like to use a lot of progress photos because it really is more encouraging for people to be like, look, this fucking takes time and like it's gonna be hard, but like once you start seeing the results, you'll love it and like it'll kind of catch on and it just becomes a habit rather than like a project.
Yeah, for sure. And like you're just like such a genuine person too. Like I think people just want to see like real results, but also like nothing that's like super unobtainable or like, I don't know. I just like, it's relatable. And I think people can actually like use these tips and like apply them to their real life in general. So that's always like super helpful to watch. Like, digestible. That's the best way to put it. But
wow. We love that.
Are those your favorite videos to work on or like, do you have any?
Yeah. Okay. So actually it's funny. So like my favorite videos to make, which is funny because like quarantine, I've talked to some of my friends about this. I'm like, I fucking hate my videos right now. I hate them so much because I just have been like uninspired, but August, very inspired.
Awesome.
Coming back. I know my shit. I like had a little like awakening. I don't know. Does that ever happen to you where you're like in a rut and then you're like, oh, this is what I want to do?
For sure. Yeah.
So I've been having some of those, but my favorite ones to film I do really like fitness videos. I more so like the transformation fitness videos because it's really fun for you to reflect on what you've done as well.
Right.
And then I really obviously like my like rave vlog videos and like get ready with me's and like those are just so fun. I rarely ever rewatch my own videos though.
Okay, I was literally just thinking that question. Do you ever watch back your festival vlogs or anything?
Well, sometimes, but then also I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I doing?
I feel you. You do like have such good I was going to tell you, this is the power of your videos, girl. I'm wearing the Huda Beauty nude medium eyeshadow palette today. I was like, I have to do that for Tara.
Do it. Yes, I love it. I love pink eyeshadow. Like I can't. I just love it. Yeah, no, you're great.
Thanks, girl. I love to get ready with me. Like, I think those, but maybe that's just me, like where I'm at in my life. I'm like a female, but I just think they're so relaxing. And like, it depends on the type of YouTube viewer you are. Like I'm a designer, so I can have YouTube on while I'm working all day long. So I'm sort of like a passive listener, or I'll have it in the background when I'm cooking. So I just like to hear something like relaxing, even if I'm not watching it.
What kind of design do you do?
My undergrad's in graphic design, but now I'm a digital designer and my full-time job is like doing front end web design and sales decks and all that.
That's crazy. I did graphic design.
Do you really?
Yeah. Well, no, I did it in college. I don't do it anymore.
Okay. Yeah. But you have a background in it.
Yeah, I have a background in it. I did it for a bit. That's why like sometimes if I ever do my like little character things of my outfits, that's like because it's something that I think is fun. But yeah, sometimes I'll like do little projects for people. If they ask me, I'll like do something kind of behind the scenes and like pass it over, but like not too often. I find it kind of stressful.
It is. Yeah. It's definitely like, you don't realize, especially if you're going to do it as like a freelancer or something, like you really have to be a people person as well. Cause
Ooh,
you got to please your clients, but it's a good thing to fall back on.
it is.
You can always pick it up. Like, it's just one of those things. And I'm curious with you, like you quit your day job, which I was like sitting there cheering because it's just such a moment for you. Like, what was that whole like decision like?
I mean, it was like very scary. So like for anyone listening, if you didn't know, I went to college for, honestly, I did like my associates in graphic design, but at the Academy of Art in San Francisco, which is just like a really escalated, I mean, it's like, it's a very fast paced, like degree, whatever. Whenever you say that, it reminds me of like James Charles when he goes, sure.
Fuck.
Have you seen that?
I don't know. I watch him sometimes, but
I honestly only started watching him again because of like everything that's been happening, like on the internet, whatever.
Yes.
And he'll be like, sure. But it's funny because like he's from New York, which is close by to you. So I'm like, anyway.
Maybe I'm subtly picking up on it. Could be. That's amazing.
Maybe it's just like an East Coast thing. I don't know.
Could
anyway. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So I was like doing graphic design, and then I got a job at Dolls Kill. Controversial. So like at Dolls Kill HQ, which honestly, no hate or anything. We can even talk about it. Like,
sure.
I had like a very good experience there, like in the beginning, and like it was just like a dream to work there. Cause like, even as like anyone that's into the festival, like community, it's like one of those places where like most girls are like, this is where I'm going to go to like get all my shit.
Yep.
And it's just like very niche. It's like very like for everybody, whatever. So anyway, and I always wanted to work in fashion. So I was working in fashion. And during that time, I was just really into my YouTube channel. Like I was posting all the time, and like also was going out a lot. Honestly, that year was crazy for me because I was working 3 jobs. Like I was working so much. I was doing Dolls Kill full time, which I did like influencer marketing, which was like kind of random because like it was just like really similar to what I did.
Sure.
And then I was doing YouTube, and I was posting like very frequently. And then like 3 days a week after work, I would babysit like for this family.
Oh my
that I
God,
used to babysit for like in college, but I just like I'm like really close to them as a family. They're like also a part of the Irish community. So they're like my second family, whatever.
Okay.
So it was a lot, and it was a crazy year. And then as I stayed working there, more YouTube opportunities started coming. But then it was like my other work never slowed down.
Right.
So I would flip flop and be like, damn, like what do I want to do? You know? And I'm like, how am I going to make this work? And then I was kind of having some issues where I was working just like with like management and just shit like that, and like pay and being like, they don't value me, like whatever.
Right.
And so I was like, fuck this. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. I'm just going to do it. And then I've kind of just been doing it.
Damn. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I feel like you honestly just have to get to a point though, where you literally just have to take a leap of faith and go for it.
You do have to just be like, okay, like I'm going to make this happen. And then it's like, once you quit, it is scary though. You're like, oh my God, I just quit. Like like now I have no other choice. Yeah. So I mean, it is a lot, and it also is hard because it's basically like freelance, and like I've had the opportunity. I was with like a management. I dropped my management because fuck that. It's like, it's really fun just to do it by yourself. And like that way I get to talk to all the brands and things by myself. And like you get to build like a really good relationship with the brands yourself instead of like your manager talking to them for you.
Right.
Like I had a really good manager. But then she ended up leaving to like wherever Emma Chamberlain was. And I was like, I was like, I'm not even bitter. Go. Like, that sounds amazing.
Sure.
Then after that, I was like, just wasn't really clicking with anybody. And I was like, at this point, I feel like I would rather just do it myself. So then, so now I'm just like out here doing it myself.
Doing the damn thing. Oh my God. Yeah, no, those were going to be some of my questions for you, like off the record. So I'll ask you.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, I'll talk about anything. And I feel like listeners just probably are curious. So
no, yeah, it's so interesting. And like the other thing, I think the biggest thing I have questions about with like YouTube is obviously a consistent platform. Like to me, it's not a concern of like, it's going to go anywhere. Like I think it's clearly shown it's going to be a stable job platform. It's not like a TikTok, which could maybe get banned tomorrow and like be a problem. And then you're screwed if you're just a TikTok creator. But at the same time, like, I don't know if this affected you, like with COVID, across the board between YouTube and my podcast, shit like tanked right in the middle of March. And now it's starting to like stabilize again. But like something happened with the algorithm that like I still haven't been able to recover from. So I'm like, oh God, what am I going to do?
I know. It's like really hard. I mean, and that too is just like scary for creators because you're like, how am I supposed to like find a balance and feel like I'm like always progressing when it's like factors are kind of playing against you. Do you know what I mean? So for me, like in quarantine, I was just like the beginning of quarantine, I was like so stoked. Well, I wasn't stoked for quarantine, but I was like stoked because I thought I was going to be like going to festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I kind of had this perspective where I was like, okay, quarantine's happened, but I had all these really fun videos planned and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it anyway. Who cares? Because I know the girls and boys that like, or literally anyone that watches my videos likes it for this topic, regardless if it's happening or not.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got really sad and I was like, my life got canceled and I felt really bad for myself. So then I was like, So then I like didn't make videos like for a couple of weeks. So I just was like, I need this for like my mental clarity or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, so now I'm like coming back from that and I'm back to like I'm just going to make videos about festival fashion because that's what I like to fucking talk about and I don't care. Yeah.
Good. Perfect. No, exactly. I think a lot of people are on like a very similar wavelength to that. Like obviously not just creators, like probably anybody, but you know, it's been 6 months into the year now. Like I feel the exact same to you. There was a couple months there when I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like I don't know what I'm doing. Have no clue, throwing shit at the wall and see if it sticks.
It's like, I was talking to this girl. I don't know. She's just like this designer online that I'm like fond of. Her name's Young Reaper. And we were like messaging and we were just talking about like, okay, dude, if we can get through this year, we can do anything. Like we can do it. And I'm like, it's so tough. Like on your mind. It really is. It's like, it takes a lot of like mental power to like get through this all. I mean, do you live alone? I live alone.
No, I'm engaged. I live with my fiance. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
We're trying to move we're trying to move to a house. That's like been a whole thing. We're supposed to close at the end of August and buying a house is one of the most stressful things you'll ever do with your life.
Oh my God, I've heard. Like that's crazy. Are you going to stay in Jersey though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
So I'm trying to get out of here.
When did you guys get engaged?
In the middle of this, like May 15th.
Yeah. Oh my God,
I know.
So
it kind of fucked up his plans a little bit, but
now you're like, whatever. Let's have a ring.
Well, it was one of those moments where it's like because like going through the same like mental issues or stuff like that. And I quickly adapted like this can't be a throwaway year. Like I quickly was like, no, like your life fucking has to go on or you're going to waste an entire year or however long like of your life. And so I told him, I was like, no, I'm so glad you did it. Like I wouldn't have wanted you to wait until all this shit is done because who knows when that will happen.
And especially if it was like going to happen anyway, it's like you might as well just done it now. So it's like something to look forward to, something to be excited about. Now you get to plan for like wedding, moving, anything. Yeah.
It was good news to tell family too. Everyone appreciated that call in the middle of all of this shit. So.
Oh my God. See, that's exciting too. Just like stuff like that. It's like a whole process. So yeah. So for me, it's like, it's one of those years where it's like definitely a lot of mental. And like, for me, I'm like, it definitely has made me think about my life. I'm like, okay, am I happy where I'm living, where I'm at, what I'm doing? You rethink everything, which I think is like kind of a good thing in a way.
It is. Yeah. I'm into like doing tarot cards. I like picked that up throughout this time. And I heard somebody describe this year as this. And I was like, wow, that's actually accurate. There's a card in the tarot card deck called the Tower, which it's probably like the most negative decks. If you get that, you're kind of like, oh fuck. And the tower is like, it's a picture of a tower with like a lightning bolt hitting it and everybody's like falling out. And it's like, if you get a card like that, it's usually like an inevitable change is happening. That's going to like rock you to your core. There's no avoiding it. It's usually something that's going to like, you know, fuck your life up. But the whole point of it is it was like your foundation wasn't stable to begin with. And so you're supposed to rebuild it. And so someone was like, this entire year is a tower year for everyone, which makes sense. Cause it's like, was your life really on a stable foundation or are you building it on one now? If that makes sense.
Whoa. That's
I know.
I think about it.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, no, because I feel like I was just kind of like in this rat race of doing all this shit. And now like, to your point, I've had time to sit and think about like what's actually important to me now. So
yeah, 100%. Like going from last year working 3 jobs to this year having like your one, and you were, so like already I had slowed down just from like working. I actually had like afternoons off. Like if I wanted to go do something, I'm like, wow, what is this life? I don't know.
Yep.
But, and then it's like, but then it was like, this year was supposed to be like, you know, everybody had plans for 2020. I'm I don't even want to like keep going on because like everybody got shit on and I don't want to sit here being like, poor me, because like, in regards to like honestly everything that's happening this year with like the Black Lives Matter movement and all that, I feel like it was actually great because there's so much time and like for us to really focus on important things that like us as a country have never properly dealt with anyway. So like it's a really good year for everyone just to take a pause and be like, listen, like what's important, like what should we be focusing on? Yeah. And like, hopefully we just get it all together and people wear masks so we can get back to it.
I know, right? Why is America so dumb?
Weird. It's like it's actually embarrassing.
Yeah, no, it truly is. It just makes you real. You're like, has it always, I guess it's like, yeah, like, has it always been like this? And now just nothing's going on. So we're realizing like how selfish people, cause that's how I feel. Sorry to pop off, but I just feel like America is extremely selfish. Like everybody else got their shit together and they were like, collectively, let's make this better for other people's health. And then America's over here like, I want my rights and I want to do
I know. It's all the fucking Karens and whatever out there. It's like, relax. I mean, it's hard too because like I live obviously like San Francisco. It's like a very liberal place. So I don't really know what it's like to live somewhere where it's like, just not like, I mean, just like, I just don't get it. So like, I'm just chill and like, I'll just stay home, abide by the rules. Like, I don't really care.
I know.
I'm just like trying to mind my own business, but like,
Yep.
I think it's hard because America is so big too, that it's like all the states are trying to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
When we kind of all just needed to like, just chill.
Yeah, no, I know. We're going to get through it. We're going to be okay. And like, honestly, like I try to tell myself like things like this may not have happened. Like this has honestly been the best thing ever. And it's, you know, given me time to reach out to people and who knows, like if everybody's schedule was busy, you know,
you just started this for quarantine, right? The podcast or
No, I started April 2019. So a little over a year now.
Okay. I was going to say, cause I like looked at your episodes and you were like in really high numbers and I was like, holy shit, did she do all of those in like quarantine? That's crazy.
It's kind of evolved. I definitely got more into like the interviews this year, like with Zoom and stuff. I wasn't recording them. And like, that's been the best feedback I got. People are like, I really enjoy seeing the video of like you actually talking to people and stuff. So
yeah, I think if I like watch podcasts sometimes, if I'm like in my room, it's playing, I do like the video.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It's better to hear people. And I mean, as a listener, I was like avidly listening to podcasts every single day on my commute into the city. And so I understood why the numbers plummeted because there was like a solid month. My routine was different. I stopped listening to them and now I'm back. I like put them on in the morning. So I think that's good. It's starting to get back into a routine. But anyway, last couple of questions here. Sorry, before I let you go. What can we expect from you? What's coming up? What are you excited about?
Yeah. So I do have some things I'm excited about in August. So for anybody that is like watching me, knows me, or even doesn't know me, I just decided, fuck it. I don't care. I'm making videos that are like related to festival fashion and things like that. So what I'm doing is, I don't know if I'm posting them on Thursdays or Fridays yet, but in August, like either every Thursday or Friday, I'm going to post like a festival related video, whether it's like styling or just like buying from independent fashion designers that are like festival related that I really like and want to share, or like
awesome,
just like fun little videos like that. And then I want to start doing like festival Fridays where I will do like hashtag festival Friday, and I'll do a festival look every Friday on Instagram. So then like when we end up getting back to festivals, people can just like go back and find info. And then like I want to just have like giveaways. I don't know. August is just a fun month where I'm like, I'm taking my life back, and I'm just like gonna do things that I like to do anyway. So you guys can look out for that. So that's what I want to do. I'm actually more seriously starting to look into moving out. So hopefully I'll be in like a new space and I have to redecorate. So that'd be fun. A lot of this will come with me, like my pictures and stuff, but like it'll be like decorated differently.
Nice.
And then I'm like looking more into doing like some merch, but by myself. And it'll like,
I was thinking that I was going to be like, I would love to see you come out with a like clothing line or something one day.
Yeah. So like my long-term goal is definitely like a clothing line. I have a name for it and everything. I can tell you after.
Yeah,
it's like
it's awesome.
It's really fun, but it's like, yeah. So like I definitely like regrounded myself and was like, okay, these are my goals. This is what I want to work towards. Like kind of what you were saying, like this isn't a throwaway year. I'm like, let's get back to it. I don't know. So I'm like looking into planning that, but I'm also just like trying to figure out more about doing things by myself instead of leaning on others. Cause I'm a very like, I don't want to like rely on other people to get something done when I could just like kind of do it myself. So like I'm starting to like get into that. So I'm like exploring options of more like clothing lines, starting off with like hoodies, like t-shirts, things like that. And then going more into like the design aspect.
Awesome. Yeah. I could just totally, like your aesthetic is so cool. I could totally see that like doing so well for you. And 100% like do the videos that you love, because you can tell how excited you are about them right now. And I feel like you'll just get so much joy putting them out there. And I've noticed this the whole time. I don't think any interest has been lost for Raven Festival fashion. Like people keep buying things. I've bought things. Like I don't even think that's like going anywhere. And you like, I've discovered so many shops and things like that from you. So it's like, you know, people are always looking for inspiration and new places to shop from. So I appreciate those videos.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I was going to ask your perspective too. I'm like, what do you want to watch?
100%. Oh, well, I thought of this one idea because I died so Tara did this video where she was reviewing her subscribers' outfits, and I got in the video. I was so fucking pumped, and I died because you pointed out something really good. I always wear the same silhouette. So I literally wrote in my notepad, I don't know if you like organize ideas, but I just have a notepad with like future ideas written down. And I wrote in all caps, I was like, Tara said, no more matching sets, bitch, mix it up.
No, I loved it. I was like so happy to incorporate you too, because I was like, listen, like I know you go all the time. I'm like, this is someone that's like literally in the culture. Like I couldn't not put you in. So I was like, I'm going to do this. But then I was like, honestly, I was like, you can kill it. Like I know you have, like I know that you like, you're like a part of it. I don't know. I just know that you know that there's like a lot of brands and things out there. So I'm like excited to see what you do.
I can't wait. And yeah, people have been coming out with such like good stuff lately too. I'm like, I literally have a full Rave bin of clothes just waiting to go and be seen by the world one day.
People are still dropping shit. So like, that's why I'm kind of like, oh, like, this is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think that's awesome. What did I have? I had one more question for you about your Rave line, but okay, we'll chat offline, but plug your social media handles before I let you go here.
Oh yeah. Well, you guys can find me on Instagram. You guys can find me on YouTube at like Tara O'Neill, O''Neill. And then my Instagram is at Tara0Neil. And like, that's kind of it. I just use those two.
Perfect. Okay. I'll link everything below. Tara, hang tight. Everybody else, I will be back in just a minute with EDM news.
Yay. Bye.
All right.
Alrighty, you guys. Thank you so much, Tara, for coming on today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed that conversation as much as I did. It was seriously so surreal. I honestly can't believe that happened, but it was so much fun getting to know her. She's exactly how she is in person as she is online and on YouTube. So definitely go show her some love. Give her a follow and check out her YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe over there. You guys will find tons of videos to binge watch and enjoy. So thank you all so much for doing that. Alrighty, next up, I want to get into our EDM news segment. We had a lot happen in this past week since I've recorded last, so definitely want to get through everything. So let's start out with the biggest announcement, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of at this point, and this comes from the man, the myth, the legend, Pasquale Rotella, who is the owner of Insomniac Events. He gave us basically, it's not even the second half of the year, it's past that, but the state of 2020 update as far as Insomniac events go. So he wrote, I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy. As you might have imagined, we have moved EDC Las Vegas to May 2021. We will also be shifting Nocturnal Wonderland, Escape Psycho Circus, and EDC Orlando, and Dream State SoCal to 2021 as well. Is this surprising to anybody listening right now? No, I think we all knew this was coming. Does it hurt any less? Absolutely not. It's just kind of like the dagger in the heart on top of this year, but I think, in my personal opinion, it was the safest move to do. I don't think anything has really changed as far as large-scale events in the United States, so it makes sense. He continues, while this year has been full of ups and downs, it's something I found a lot of positivity and excitement in. This extra time to plan is going to allow us to make our 2021 events the best we've ever had, both creatively and logistically. Snaps to that, very excited. In the meantime, we will of course continue to keep the vibe alive through Insomniac TV with a bunch of new live streams and Rave-a-thons, so stay tuned for those announcements. Keep your heads up and let's continue to look out for one another. I see a bright and amazing future ahead and can't wait to be with all of you on the dance floor once again. Which is amazing. Honestly, I think in the beginning, like when we're talking March and April of this year, I genuinely thought maybe like EDC Orlando would squeeze by based on how things were happening in Florida at the time. But again, I feel like this is the safest bet. I'm very much looking forward to events next year. You know, I remain hopelessly optimistic that events will come back at some point, maybe not early in the year, but definitely maybe summer or later in the year. And I completely agree with him. That gives, you know, festival companies more time to plan for these events and make them even bigger and better. And we all know the experience will be just that much more incredible when we finally get to go back. One thing I wanted to point out, which I know some other people noticed, I initially was gonna say Insomniac canceled all their events for 2021, but that's not necessarily true because he does not mention Countdown or Audiotistic. No New Year's Eve festivals are listed there, so I do want to point that out. Maybe they're holding out hope that those could squeak by. Who knows? I know those are much smaller scale than obviously like an EDCO or EDC Las Vegas, but just want to point that out. I think that's pretty interesting, so I guess we'll have to stay tuned in the next few months if we're going to see any New Year's Eve festivals happening this year. All right, in other festival news, we also got a cancellation of UBW times Freaky Deaky. This one has been changed twice now. UBW was supposed to be happening in April in Texas. It didn't get canceled, it got postponed to Halloween, and it was gonna be a combined festival with Freaky Deaky. They just came out and announced that event is canceled. So UBW will be happening back when its normal dates would have been. So it says April 24th and 25th, 2021. The lineup has dropped. Guys, it was already fire and it hasn't changed because it's the same lineup. I think like 2 people are different. Vibe with Aid mentioned that. She looked through the whole thing and only 2 artists were different. I'm very happy with that. I have tickets to go. It was supposed to be my first UBW this year. I'm very much looking forward to it. I rolled my tickets over. I thought the lineup was incredible in the first place. I mean, you have some of my favorite artists on there like Seven Lions and Millennium and Io and Cascade. So, and Noizu, like it was already really good. So I'm very much excited about that. Tickets are now on sale. I am selling tickets still through Pollen. They're $5 off. It's small, but it's something. So if you guys or your Rave fam needs tickets to UBW, DM me on Instagram at Emma Kapotes, and I will happily hook you guys up with a link for that. Another festival announcement. So Elements Festival is announcing a small scale event that's going to be in northeastern Pennsylvania the weekend of September 25th and 26th. So they're calling it an open air retreat with advanced 2-part testing. The lineup is pretty dope. Obviously it piqued my interest because Wax Motif is on it, and you have Soul Clap, you have Desert Hearts, so some really incredible artists. It says there's going to be mindful activities, water sports, art classes, yoga, meditation. So this is definitely more of like an interactive well-being kind of festival. I can't think of the word right now. Arts and wellness kind of festival. There you go. I'm pretty sure I read something that they only were selling an extremely limited amount of tickets. I had them on Pollen. I'm not sure at this point if I still do, but feel free to message me. I believe it was the cabin left, a GA pass plus the cabin you could stay in, or I had VIP. It was like an apartment or something like that. But as far as I know, all of the tent camping is sold out. So if you guys are interested, feel free to DM me, and you can check them out on Instagram at elementsfestival_ if you want to read more details on this event. Okay, in other news, deadmau5 announced that he's going to be launching his own streaming platform. So the actual show was actually this past Friday, September 4th. He was playing a set as Test Pilot, which is his techno alter ego. And yeah, he's basically launching his own platform. It was going to debut in the beta stages, and it said, "We are still waiting for more details on what the full platform will entail. Big deadmau5 fans will recall that this is not the first time he has launched a platform like this. He's known for streaming video games to his studio sessions. deadmau5 has started a formal platform several years ago, which eventually closed. This is a new opportunity to connect with this renowned artist and his label Mousetrap." So very exciting. I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be pumped to hear that. I'm going to definitely try and check that out. I think you had to purchase a ticket for it. So, you know, it will have already happened at this point. So I will report back how that experience was. Okay, in other news, I had to read this. This one hurts the soul a little bit, but I saw this going around on social media, so we got to share it. There's an article on EDM Maniac that says, "Raves and festivals up to 5,000 people are now allowed to return in France." So it says, after months of strict social distancing requirements and lockdowns due to the coronavirus, those that reside in France are officially free to enjoy live music and events without social distancing requirements. As of yesterday, the French government has approved any events, both indoor and outdoor, with less than 5,000 in attendance. This includes theaters, nightclubs, movie theaters, and concerts. This makes France the first country to approve larger scale events without a requirement to follow social distancing for live events. So it's going to be really interesting. I feel obviously the United States is going to be like the last people probably to have it back because we suck. But no, I'm kidding. We obviously don't suck. We just are struggling to figure this COVID thing out. But yeah, I feel like this is the guinea pig. So we'll see how it goes. The UK was doing that event where everybody had their own private platform they could stand out on outside, and they were all social distanced. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with these smaller scale events that don't have any social distancing required. So that's very interesting. Hopefully, guys, fingers crossed for next year. Next year is going to be our year. Okay, I think that's everything actually for EDM news today. Let me just jump into our songs of the week, and then I will let you guys go on with your merry day. So our songs of the week, we got a lot. It was a big New Music Friday last week. Very pumped about that. For those of you who don't know, I have a playlist on Spotify. It is called New Music Friday to celebrate the weekend with the top picks in EDM. I update it every week, cycle through all the songs there, and I go through all of the really big releases that come out in dance music, and I pick my favorites. It's all genres. I don't play any favorites here. It's whatever comes out. So my number one I have to mention is, of course, Millennium. Millennium blessed us with some new music, which was really, really exciting. The song is called Nightlight. It's what you would expect. It's beautiful vocals. It gives you all of the feels of a Millennium song. It's definitely on the softer side, but I feel like that's going to be a big favorite, and I can't wait to hear that live. Porter Robinson fans already know he came out with a new single called Mirror. I actually really liked this track. Some of you might know I'm not like the biggest Porter Robinson stan, but I love him as a person, just his music doesn't really click with me, but I actually really liked Mirror, so that's saying a lot. It has a more chill kind of vibe to it, very pretty track. I would definitely recommend checking it out. I know the Porter fans are very excited, so it's good to have new music out of him no matter what. And the last single I want to mention is from Oliver Heldens, who's my mans. I love Oliver. His song Break This Habit is finally released. He's played this in a couple of his live stream sets. It's very dancey, a little bit more clubby, kind of got a tropical vibe to it, but that one's a fun one, a little bit more upbeat. And then 2 albums dropped on Friday, which I would 10 out of 10 recommend. Number 1, the new Lane 8 album. It's just a couple tracks, but he has been consistently releasing new singles every single Friday. It's seriously been getting me through quarantine. And so this album features a bunch of those singles that I've probably already talked about every single week as my songs of the week. So like Run, Shatter, and then a few new singles were on that album. And lastly, the album that was just dropped from Paul Van Dyk. It is called Guiding Light. My trance fam, you guys, this one is for you. It is so good, and like, I don't listen to trance all the time. I love it. I like seeing it live. But this album, like, I've been playing it all weekend, just got me back into it, and it reminded me why like trance kind of just like hits you in your feels. So much fun to dance to. It's really, really incredible. He's a legend, so definitely check out Paul Van Dyk's new album if you guys are either getting into trance or you're already a big trance fan. You're all gonna love it so much. So that is everything for our songs of the week. Some quick reminders here at the end of the episode. You guys know the drill. You can always follow along with us at raveculturecast and at Kapotes on Instagram and Twitter. Do not forget to join our Facebook group community. If you guys are looking for other people to meet in this community who have the same interests as you, you're looking for a rave fam, maybe people to attend events with in the future, definitely click the link in the bio here and come join the family. And again, you guys, check out the Rave Culture Cast clips, the new YouTube channel for the bonus interviews. Tara's interview will probably be up tomorrow on there, so you guys can get a little bonus clip from her, which is really exciting. And lastly, submissions. Send in your submissions and your entries for Ask Emma Anything. Really excited about that episode. It's going to be really fun. So email that to raveculturecast@gmail.com. And same thing for your Listener of the Week nominations. I'm running low and I'm looking for more people to shout out every week. I think that's all I have, you guys. Screenshot this today, make it your stories on Instagram, and do not forget to enter our giveaway by writing a review on Apple Podcasts. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you all stay happy and healthy this week, and I will be back next Wednesday with a new episode. Bye, guys.